This is an executive order on flag burning. It charges your attorney general.
Would you listen to this? This is very important. Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. And as you know, through a very sad court, I guess it was a 5-4 decision, they called it freedom of speech. But there's another reason, which is perhaps much more important. It's called death. Because what happens when you burn a flag is the area goes crazy. If you have hundreds of people, they go crazy. You could do other things. You can burn this piece of paper. But when you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. Do you want to discuss that?
Sure. So what the executive order does, sir, it charges your Department of Justice with investigating instances of flag burning, and then where there's evidence of criminal activity, where prosecution wouldn't fall afoul of the First Amendment, and instructs the Department of Justice to prosecute those who are engaged in these instances of flag burning.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. No early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement.
Incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like when I signed the Statute and Monument Act. 10 years in jail if you hurt any of our beautiful monuments. Everybody left town. They were gone.
All right.
Never had a problem after that.
That's it. He likes to rent. All right. So I'm going to read. It's called Prosecuting Burning of the American Flag. Our great American flag is the most sacred and cherished symbol of the United States of America and of American freedom, identity, and strength. Over nearly 2.5 centuries, many thousands of American patriots have fought, bled, and died to keep the stars and stripes waving proudly. The American flag is a special symbol in our nation's life that should unite and represent all Americans of every background and walk of life. Desecrating it is uniquely offensive and provocative. It is a statement of contempt, hostility, and violence against our nation. The clearest possible expression of opposition to the political union that preserves our rights, liberty, and security. Burning this representation of America may incite violence and riot. American flag burning is also used by groups of foreign nationals as a calculated act to intimidate and threaten violence against Americans because of their nationality, place, and place of birth. Notwithstanding the Supreme Court's ruling on First Amendment protections, the court has never held that American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent, this is where it gets important, imminent lawless action, or that is an action of amounting to fighting words, is constitutionally protected. See Texas v. Johnson. Okay, so Texas v. Johnson, I believe I looked that one up. If you can go to ChatGPT and search Texas v. Johnson, I looked it up, and from what I can remember off of memory, they ruled that you cannot arrest somebody. So the government doesn't have the right to arrest me for burning the flag because it is offensive or provocative. However, if I am burning the flag on private property or in a park where there's children around and it's seen as something harmful, then I can be arrested. Not because of the fact that I'm burning the flag, but because of the fact that by me burning the flag, it is creating how can I put it, a danger, an imminent danger in the environment. Because there's kids around, it's hazardous, and they can potentially charge me for arson. Can you look up really quick?
Yeah, so I found what the case was about.
Okay.
It's basically that the Supreme Court ruled that the burning of the flag is a form of political protest and is protected by our First Amendment.
Okay.
But it says here the court struck down a Texas law that criminalized flag desecration, stating that the government cannot punish expression simply because it is offensive.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Okay, so, but it goes deeper. Okay, did you look it up or did you search what I had already looked up? Because I already looked this up.
No, I just asked chat what it was.
Oh, no. I need you to search up what I had already, because chat gave me a whole thing of it. Because the court ruling said you're not allowed to arrest an American because of the fact that it is provocative or offensive to people. But if you are in a public place and you are burning the flag, you can be charged for arson because you're in a public place. So like you're not getting arrested for burning the flag, you're getting arrested for burning the flag in a public place. You know, like if you're burning the flag in your house, then it doesn't matter. You're burning the flag in your house. That is your First Amendment right. You can record yourself burning the flag in your house. But one thing is you burn the flag in your own property. And another thing is you go into a public park and you're burning the flag. That's not the same thing. If you can look that up while I continue.
Well, like what specifics about that conversation do you want to talk about?
Because I asked it specifically. You cannot arrest somebody for burning the flag, but where are they burning the flag is where an arrest is warranted, is where there's a jurisdiction for an arrest. And it's not a fact.
You asked it if a person can be arrested for burning a flag, and it said yes, but only if they break another law while doing it. Like violating fire safety ordinances, starting a fire on federal property,
right,
inciting violence, or causing public danger.
Right. So then, for example, burning the American flag in a public park where there's kids around would be a reason to arrest you because it's hazardous. You're burning something where there's children around. You know, then people will say, oh, but you can have a cookout at a public place. Yeah, but that's different. There's an actual tool for you to cook food in. You're not cooking food in the grass. You know, you're cooking food in a barbecue. Whereas on a flag, usually most people don't put it on a barbecue. They put it on the floor and then they put it on fire. You know, that's hazardous. That's a reason to arrest you. And it's not about arresting you because you burn the flag. It's because where you decided to burn the flag is the reason to arrest you, which is what my understanding of this executive order is. They're not prosecuting people for burning the flag. It's not a ban on burning the flag because that's a violation of the First Amendment. It's prosecuting people who are committing a crime while burning the flag.
Yeah, he should have worded that a little bit better.
What?
Trump.
Yeah, well, he's not a lawyer, so
yeah, I know,
but people are expecting a little too much from him. This guy is a business dude. He's not a lawyer. He has lawyers to word the executive order the way it's supposed to be written. But because
it came off as if yeah, you just can't burn the flag.
Exactly.
You just can't do it because I say so.
Right, but at the end of the day, you can't go off of what he says, and you have to go off of what actually what's written. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what matters is the executive order itself. That's what the executive branch is meant to enforce laws. So if they're creating an executive order, that's what they're trying to enforce. Right. What he says is irrelevant. It's what the executive order says. That's what matters.
Which we're going to get to now, right?
Right. So then it continues to say, in cases where the Department of Justice or another executive... Oh wait, I skipped one, just kidding. Measures to combat desecration of the American flag. The Attorney General shall prioritize the enforcement to the fullest extent possible of our nation's criminal and civil laws against acts of American flag desecration that violates applicable content neutral laws while causing harm unrelated to expression. Consistent with the First Amendment, this may include, but is not limited to, violent crimes, hate crimes, illegal discrimination against American citizens, or other violations of American civil rights and crimes against property and the peace, as well as conspiracies and attempts to violate and aiding and abetting others to violate such laws. So, again, they're not arresting you for burning the flag. They're arresting you if you've committed crimes. So, if they can find probable cause of you committing arson, then yes, they're going to charge you for arson. Because you shouldn't have been burning a flag in a federal jurisdiction, for example. You know, if you are a patriot, if you believe in your First Amendment right, then you can do it in your own private property, right? We're Americans. We have the best private property laws in the world. So why don't you exercise your private property laws and burn your American flag in your house?
But who the hell is gonna do that?
Like,
The whole point of burning the flag is to send like a message, right? And you're not gonna do that at your house unless you're recording it, I guess.
there you go. But why do you have
But-
to do it in a public place?
Because it has
When
more.
you don't really have jurisdiction in a public place.
Yeah,
it's public.
no, for sure. It's just the reason they do it is because it has more of an impact. Because they know cameras are rolling, and people are watching.
But at the end of the day, then what are you trying to show? Do you really believe in your First Amendment right, or are you trying to get clout and just trying to get cameras to like? Are you trying to get attention? Like what is the motive here?
I think it's a bit of both.
You know,
honestly.
like-
a little bit of clout, a little bit of exercising the First Amendment right. I mean,
And then at the end of the day, like it really just depends on how you do it too, because well, we'll get to the veteran because a lot of people were complaining about that, but let's get to this really quick. So blah 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 blah. Okay, here we go. In cases where the Department of Justice or another executive department or agency determines that in an instance of American flag desecration may violate an applicable state or local law, such as open burning restrictions. So there's laws on where you can burn anything. You can't just burn, you know, like you're just like there's laws on like you can't just smoke there wherever you want. It's the same thing. Disorderly,
yeah.
you know, this is the same thing. Disorderly conduct laws or destruction of property laws. The agency shall refer the matter to the appropriate state or local authority for potential action to the maximum extent permitted by the Constitution. The Attorney General shall vigorously prosecute those who violate our laws in ways that involve desecrating the American flag and may pursue litigation to clarify the scope of the First Amendment exceptions in this area. And then it goes by saying the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security within their respective authorities shall deny, prohibit, terminate, or revoke visas, residence permits, naturalization proceedings, and other immigration benefits, or seek removal of the United States pursuant to federal laws, including a bunch of laws, whenever there has been an appropriate determination that foreign nationals have engaged in American desecration activity under circumstances that permit the exercise of such remedies pursuant to federal laws. I mean, for you to like not be an American and you're kind of burning the American flag is pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Like you're being a little risky there because you're not a citizen yet.
yeah,
They can deport your ass. So I don't know why you would do that.
I mean, if you hate this country so much,
Why the fuck are you here?
yeah,
You know?
you can just leave.
Bye. Go back to your country. All right. So let's watch.
But also, you got to think about probably most of those people are paid to do it.
Which is what he was saying, you know? Like,
Because it doesn't make sense that you're like an illegal immigrant or just an immigrant in general. You come to this country to quote unquote have a better life. That's why you come here, and then you're burning the flag. No, it doesn't make sense. They probably got paid.
I just don't see where is the impact on burning the American flag.
I
Like, if-
mean, it's
you know what I'm saying?
I think it does incite violence. I think it does incite.
Yeah, like I don't see
aggression.
how like where is the positive impact of you burning the American flag?
No, it's. I mean, it's to send a message.
But it's not a positive message.
No, it's not.
So then, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, you should, I mean, it doesn't really matter, positive or negative, you should be allowed to send whatever message you want. That's the First Amendment right. I'm just saying
Right, whether it's offensive or not, you should be able to
do it.
express that.
However, if it invokes violence or if it invokes, you know, disruption or chaos or, you know, destruction of property, then
Yeah, that's
we
where
have
you
a
draw
problem.
a line, yeah.
And from what has been shown already in the past, look at what happened in California. They were doing that over there. The protests were actually riots and they were burning American flags. So for somebody like me that I don't see how that's appealing, I'm going to automatically be like, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't do that. If you believe in your First Amendment right, then you exercise it in the right way. You get a license or a permit or however it is. Make sure that there are no like codes on burning. You do it the right way. That way there's no reason for you to get arrested. If you're not looking into any of that stuff and you're just doing it just to prove a point that you have a First Amendment right, then yeah, you're asking to get arrested because you didn't do your due diligence in the first place to know whether you really were able to do that legally or not. And the reason why I'm also talking about this is because a video, I don't know if it went viral or not, but everybody was talking about it. A veteran decided to burn an American flag in Lafayette Park right in front of the White House right after the executive order. So if you can put that really quick, that's the next video. It's a Forbes video.
I got a Fox.
Hold on.
That's what's
It's right after. It's right. I don't know if you go back to the. Yeah. See, it says prosecuting burning the American flag. The one right after that. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I missed that one.
There you go, fam.
Do this for every single one of you American citizens. We burn this flag in protest to that president flag. We do this for respect for our citizens and our constitutional rights. What? I'm not putting it out. I can burn it. It's my right.
You can't actually burn it.
Executive order.
But he didn't do his due diligence.
Put forward today. According to that executive order, I should be in prison. Fire now. Starting to fire, so we're trying to bring it over here. Second thing is to show that this president and his lackeys
Can you hear it?
do not believe.
You can barely hear it. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You can barely hear it.
You can't hear the actual video?
In the First Amendment.
You can hear it, but it sounds far away.
His lackeys.
I'm not sure what happened with that.
See if you can. I don't know. He's burning the American flag on federal property. And he says he has a right to do that.
Amendment right.
He doesn't have a right to do that. And that's my point.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Like, he decided to do that, didn't bother to look into whether he was allowed legally to do that. He obviously wasn't. That's why he got arrested. And then Forbes was actually not as left as they usually are, and they were just showing you the whole thing. But CNN made it seem like he was arrested for burning the flag. No, he was arrested for burning the flag on federal grounds. They missed that little detail that was very important. That was the reason for arrest. It wasn't the flag burning. It was where he decided to burn the flag. And that obviously is a reason for arrest because you are committing arson on federal grounds. So, like, no, you don't have a right to just commit arson. Like, yes, you fought for your country. Thank you for being a patriot, but you don't have a right to commit arson.